work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Otherwise, it's like you tried to sacrifice me, bro. You tried to sacrifice me. You can put that.
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song a million times, and you didn't even know.
I don't want nobody to die tonight. Nobody go to jail or get killed.
Travis Scott's own T-shirt that he wore of the event had a portal of demons coming out of it.
Energy was so demonic. The set was demonic. Travis was demonic.
What's up, y'all? It's me, your little Tato here.
And I'm a little Stray.
We're happy to have you all here with us today. Today's topic is on people that have sold their souls to the devil. Allegedly, throughout Scripture, it is widely believed and hinted that Satan was the angel of music. Prior to his fall and banishment from heaven, he was often regarded as God's number 2. Satan was regarded as the anointed cherub, Ezekiel 28:14. He was adorned with every precious jewel imaginable, Ezekiel 28:13. He was the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect and beauty, Ezekiel 28:12b. He was persuasive enough to convince 1/3 of the angels to join him in rebellion, Revelations 12:14. After Satan's fall, Archangel Michael dared not to stand up to him without the Lord's help, Jude 9. Satan's fall was the result of his pride. He never wanted to play second fiddle, and he himself wanted to be God. So with that out of the way, let's get into it.
So a lot of people have probably heard of like rock musicians or more modern pop musicians who have allegedly sold themselves to the devil. But a lot of people don't know that it actually goes back further than that. There's even a couple of classical musicians who are rumored to have sold their souls to the devil. The first one we're going to talk about is Giuseppe Tartini. He was an Italian composer and a violinist who was born in the year 1692. Tartini composed over 100 pieces for the violin, but he's best remembered for his violin sonata in G minor. It's called the Devil's Trill Sonata. The Devers. Tartini stated that one night in 1713 he dreamt that the devil appeared and offered to be both his servant and master in exchange for his soul. The devil asked Tartini for a music lesson, which he did. He then passed the violin to the devil. The devil played the sonata so beautifully, and even Tartini, with all of his talent, was unable to recreate the exact sonata that was played in his dream. Tartini kept his encounter with the devil secret for a long time. He didn't tell anybody about his dream until he gave an interview to French astronomer Jérôme Lalande. I probably butchered that, but
It's okay to butcher things.
it's okay.
I butcher things all the time.
But he gave an interview a few years before he passed away, and that was the only time when he ever brought up the dream. And the sheet music for the Devil's Trill wasn't published until 1798, almost 3 decades after he passed away.
That's pretty good.
It's a little spooky, you know?
That's pretty
It's a
good.
little spooky.
I like that.
So the second classical musician I want to talk about was named Niccolo Paganini. He was born in Italy in 1782, and he was an incredibly gifted musician who started playing the mandolin at age 5 and the violin at age 7. And when he performed, he chose to memorize all of his notes rather than use sheet music. Because of his remarkable talent, it was rumored that he, as well as his mother, sold their souls to the devil. Some even believed that Paganini was the devil himself. He was a very tall and thin man and often dressed in black. He had unusually long fingers, which allowed him to play the violin at great speed, as well as to play 3 octaves with one hand. He became famous, but it was something that he struggled with. Paganini became a gambler, an alcoholic, and a womanizer. A rumor spread that Paganini murdered a woman, used her intestines as violin strings,
Jesus.
and trapped her soul within the violin.
You got some good fucking notes for this video. Holy shit. Dude.
Women's screams were said to be heard from his violin when he performed on stage. Paganini was sickly for much of his later life. He found himself to be getting weaker and decided to retire from performing at age 54, spending his final years teaching the violin. Paganini died of larynx cancer in 1840 in France. Before his death, he turned away the priest offering him last rites, the prayers received by Catholics at the end of their life. He said that he turned the priest away because he thought he wasn't going to die, but those who believed the rumors thought otherwise. A week later, Paganini died without receiving his last rites, and the church refused to bury his body on consecrated ground. Over the next 4 years, his corpse would be transported throughout Europe. His embalmed body was left on his deathbed for 2 months before being moved to the cellar of an abandoned leper house where it remained for over a year. Before it was moved to a cement vat in an olive oil factory, and later to a private house in France. Almost 4 years after his death, Pope Gregory XVI let Paganini be transported to Genoa, and he was finally laid to rest in La Villetta Cemetery in Parma, Italy. So it was quite a process. They were scared to bury him. I mean, I could see why.
Yeah,
What do you
Jesus.
think?
I think you got some really good notes for this video. You went all in.
Some of you might have heard of Robert Johnson. He was an African-American blues musician who was born in 1911.
I myself identify as African American.
What?
No, I don't.
No. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame describes him as the first ever rock star. Legend has it that while living on a plantation in rural Mississippi, Johnson dreamed of becoming a great blues musician. It's believed that his musical skill was good, but nothing extraordinary. He was instructed to take his guitar to a crossroad near Dockery Plantation at midnight. There is some debate as to the exact location of the crossroad, but we know it's in Mississippi. There he was met by a large dark figure believed to be the devil, who took his guitar and tuned it. The devil played a few songs, then returned the guitar back to Johnson. When Johnson returned, people said that he was much more talented than before. He died in 1938 at the age of 27, which if you guys know about the 27
original
Club,
27.
then that's kind of spooky.
Original
You know?
27's member.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, the Beatles are praised as being one of history's most influential bands. Pretty much everybody has probably heard of them.
Never heard of him a day in my whole life.
Never heard of them? You never heard of John
No,
Lennon?
I was gonna sing a song and then I was like, I'd probably get hit with copyright, so I'm not gonna do
No.
that.
There's quite a bit of conspiracy theories about them, which we'll probably do a whole separate video just on that.
That might be our next video.
This one is just focusing mainly on John Lennon, because that's who most of the conspiracy theories seem to be about. The main legend surrounding him is that in 1960, he sold his soul to the devil for 20 years of fame, and the theory is supported by the fact that the year 1960 was when the Beatles became famous, and then the year 1980 was the year that John Lennon was murdered. And then the man who murdered John Lennon also claimed to be possessed. So
Makes you thunk.
makes you thunk, you know. And during his fame, he did cause some controversy when he was quoted as saying that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus. That caused a big controversy. A lot of people burned all of their Beatles stuff.
John Lennon was a colossal piece of shit, and we'll get into that. I've got very strong opinions about that. We'll get into that when we do a video on that. I hated the guy.
John Lennon has also been quoted as saying that he was like a medium when it came to his songwriting. And Yoko Ono, his late wife, was also quoted as saying similar things too. And that made some people believe the theory that he made a pact with the devil. And then also the famous occultist Aleister Crowley, who we'll talk about again a little bit later, then he was also featured on the cover of the Sgt. Pepper's album. Most of you guys have probably heard of Jimmy Page, who was the guitarist of Led Zeppelin. It's commonly believed that he was one of many rock musicians who sold their soul to the devil for more talent and fame. Like, he was already talented, but it seems like some people believe that the devil gave him more talent. And subliminal messaging is believed to be a tactic that's used by the devil to hide satanic messages in music. It was rumored that the song Stairway to Heaven, if you play it backwards, then it had a satanic message. We're not going to read that. We're not going to read it just in case, you know. Gotta be safe.
Copyright? Yeah.
Copyright, possession, you know, whatever.
Wait. Oh, you're talking about the backwards message.
Yeah.
Read the backwards message.
No, I didn't write it down.
Oh.
No, it's in the phone note.
Okay.
The phone notes. But I'm like, I don't know if we should read it, you know?
I mean,
it's kind of spooky.
You literally brought home a wooden Ouija board from work that I told you, shove that shit in the Halloween bin.
It's in the Halloween bin.
Yeah, we're probably
That
never
could
going
be a
to use
video. That could be a video. Yeah, like
what,
this
a
video
Ouija
if you want us to do a Ouija board.
Sheesh, dude. We've got plans in the works. We would love to go ghost hunting at some point when the channel's there, and you know we've got the savings for the right kind of equipment. Ghost hunting has always been a dream for me. Like, I used to urban explore when I was a kid, going to abandoned buildings and all that. So to actualize on that, I'm a big geek on ghost hunting and all that. So shout out to Watcher, Ryan and Shane, love those guys. Fantastic content with their current series, spiritual successor to their BuzzFeed Unsolved Supernatural. Oh my God.
Lana, shut up. Should we read the message? Should we read it?
Yeah, read it.
Okay, we're gonna read it. Okay.
Content.
Hold up, guys.
It's amazing.
Hold up, guys. Okay.
Hold up, guys.
So it's thought of as when you listen to Stairway to Heaven backwards, it says, allegedly, don't sue me, it says, oh, here's to my sweet Satan, the one whose little path made me sad, whose power is Satan. He'll give those with him 666. There was a little tool shed where he made us suffer. Sad Satan.
Ew, there was a little tool shed? Ew, you gave me the ick, dude. Like,
That's supposedly, if you play the song backwards, which, never done that, but yeah.
I think there's a word for like reverse messaging. I forget what it is.
I don't know.
That's icky though.
Yeah, the satanic message. Also, Jimmy Page purchased Aleister Crowley's mansion in the 70s. I said we'd talk about him again. Here he is. And when asked in a 2014 interview with GQ magazine, he was asked, what kind of man buys Aleister Crowley's mansion? And he replied, a man with good taste. And then in the same interview, if he was asked if his interest in the occult was authentic or if he was just interested in it like as a novelty, like a historic novelty, then he said, we can finish the interview with me saying I won't answer that question. And he's always, even in interviews like that are more modern, he's still kind of unclear about whether or not he actually believes in all of this, and like if he actually has performed magic, or if it's just an interest. Like he's still not really clear about that. So now we'll get into talking about metal music, and I know I skipped like a bunch of musicians.
That's what metal music sounds like.
It depends on the metal music. But I know I skipped like everybody, but if you want us to get more into other musicians, then we could probably do that.
She's making me do a lot of work in editing. So
Took good notes.
I did.
Okay?
She took good notes.
But
I did not expect this. She went balls to the wall for this video.
Metal music is typically thought of as like the satanic genre. That's the genre that like scares all your grandparents. You know the drill. And yeah, everything about it, the lyrics, style, imagery, it's all meant to be like edgy and abrasive. That being said, there's not really a lot of metal musicians who really seem to take the devil seriously and actually believe in him. Rather,
seems like they just do it for the sake of
it
edginess.
seems as if it's just for like the aesthetics and to like provoke people. Like I found in this interview with Ozzy Osbourne, he's quoted, he says, I don't believe in a bloke called God in a white suit who sits on a fluffy cloud more than I believe in a bloke called the devil with a 3-pronged fork. So he's like, he doesn't seem to believe in the devil, he's kind of just like part of his vibe.
Seems a little nihilistic to me, like borderline atheist.
I mean, that is atheist because he said he didn't believe in God,
Yeah.
so... And then in September 2020, he tweeted, Mr. Crowley, I'd read several books about Aleister Crowley. He was a very weird guy, and I always wanted to write a song about him. So it kind of seems like he was just like
dude.
interested in him and interested in the occult just because of like the vibe, not that he really like believed in it, which is kind of funny because he's the one who like scares everybody, you know?
Weird,
Everybody's
dude.
like, oh my God,
I just listened to a deep dive on him from the Y-Files. I listened to him. No, Aleister Crowley. Like I listened to that episode like 3 times. Like Aleister Crowley was a very fascinating dude.
Yeah, he was a trip.
Yeah, he was a trip. Definitely was a guy that did whatever he wanted. I mean, he might have inherited daddy's money to do it, but like he lived the life that he wanted for sure.
But this kind of goes into my whole theory about like, I don't know, personally, if I listen to metal music, it could like outwardly say like stuff about worshiping Satan, and I'm just like, this is fine. But then when there's like pop music, I feel like it's like creepier. Like certain pop music, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, so I guess this would segue into my segment of the video. She rocks this whole retro. She's obsessed with like 60s, 70s culture. So I figured, you know what, she'll tackle all the retro stuff, and we're gonna go further up the rabbit hole, I guess, to all the more modern artists. And this is the stuff that my little deep dive here is kind of what led me down my own personal, finding my own personal faith and my own personal relationship with God, because what I'm about to tell you all is going to blow your mind. I think in the modern era, the devil has been courting, I said that kind of weird, huh? He's been courting pop and hip-hop artists. So, I guess we'll start with Mac Miller. In Mac Miller's music video for Self-Care, he is sitting or laying down in a casket, and he's looking up in the casket, and etched into the top of the casket is Memento Mori, which in Latin means remember, you have to die. Mac Miller was featured in Young Thug's song Day Before, the day after Mac Miller was found dead. So my personal theory about all this is people in the music industry, they sacrifice each other to get further ahead and, you know, have a bigger shining star. Knowing that Mac Miller messed around with Ariana Grande, I theorize that Mac Miller was Ariana Grande's sacrifice. Leading into the themes of sacrifice, one of my personal favorite artists, XXXTentacion, he spoke of sacrifice in 2 separate videos. At the beginning of this video, if all went well, there should be a compilation where he speaks about it in one video. I wanted to include the other video, but he was playing one of his songs in the background, and I didn't want to get copyright stricken for that. So I'll probably, you know, put that in the about me or whatever, the details of the video. I'll probably link that video for anybody that wants to do a little further exploring with that. But he said he was supposed to be a sacrifice for Drake. Anybody that knows XXXTentacion knows his song Sad. So the interesting thing about that is his music video was posthumously released. For anybody that doesn't know what posthumously means, it means something featured from the artist after the artist had passed away. Anyways, in this music video, mind you, X had already passed away. He's looking down at himself, dead in a casket. Lil Uzi Vert practically implied to his concert goers, every single time that they listen to his song EXO Tour Life, they are being dragged further to hell. If you say Lil Uzi Vert's like artist name super slow, what does it sound like? Lil Uzi Vert, Lucifer. Also at some point, Lil Uzi Vert made mention of being a sacrifice for Marilyn Manson. Let's get into the overall insanity of Astroworld 2021 and Travis Scott. Now, by this point, prior to all this, I was already down the rabbit hole. I had already seen all this weird stuff with all these modern artists, but everything that happened in Astroworld 2021 really solidified a lot of things for me and made me not doubt my personal faith that I had discovered, because I was always theistic, always believed in something greater, but now I believe in good and evil like yin yang. I do believe that God exists, and I do believe the devil exists. Do not worry, I'm not a Bible thumper. I keep my relationship with God personal, so hang loose. Master P, who opened for Travis Scott, told the crowd in attendance before everything went to shit, for lack of a better word. He told them, don't die tonight. On that night, there were 8 pyrotechnic flames lit, and allegedly, I believe, there were 8 people that were gravely injured or dead initially. Kylie Jenner, who was pregnant at the time, was also in attendance at the concert. One leading theory is that concert attendees were swapped as sacrifices for Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott's unborn baby. So, and this is probably, we're going to keep it in the bank for a future video here. One leading theory is that the Kardashians are a clan of Wiccans. And if you've ever noticed, most of the men that encounter or engage with these women end up just having some form of misery in their lives. The stage that night was shaped like an inverted cross going into a canyon that looked like a portal to hell. So that's it, y'all. That is the end of tonight's video.
We could probably do more because, there's a lot of musicians who we didn't really touch on. What the heck's going on with Sam Smith?
Doja Cat.
Katy Perry, all these people.
It's a fascinating subject.
There's so many. Rolling Stones, we could get into that theory.
A lot of people that really... It's crazy to me that there are people out there that are so in love with the notion of materialism that they would sell the most precious thing that they have that would grant them eternal happiness in the next level up, the next dimension, whatever heaven is, because the concept of heaven itself seems so fascinating.
Because if you do believe in heaven and hell or even some type of afterlife, it's this is temporary, so it's whatever fame you have here, it's temporary. That's crazy to me that people are just it's fine, this is fine.
A question for you viewers: what do you think heaven is? Feel free to sound off in the comments below.
Do you think these people sold their souls?
I think they do. I personally do. It's all subjective. Nothing is truly substantiated. It's my boy.
He wants to be included.
I've had him for 7 years.
He doesn't. I made him. Because he's so handsome, he should be included.
Yeah, I'd love to hear everybody's opinions. What you personally think. This is quite the topic, and I was like, this would be amazing for episode 2 of CouchTatoes. If you liked what you heard today, feel free to like and subscribe. We do really appreciate it. Whatever boosts the algorithm. We love y'all, and we hope you have a good night. We hope y'all have a good night.
Don't sell your souls.
Don't sell your souls. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
But
Make sure you check underneath your beds. If you have sold yourself, you met the devil at the crossroads.
Leave it in the comments.
Let us know. We love spooky stuff. We go all out for Halloween. We're those kinds of people. Peace out, Brussels sprouts.
She's leaning over the rail of a bridge. She lights up another cigarette. Smoke at the end gets lost in the fog. The truancy life of a stray dog. She hasn't been the same since that boy left that day. She's a stray. She's a stray dog. She hasn't been the same since that boy moved away. She's in pain. Call it heartache.